Good morning, guys. It's day number 162. Yesterday, I had 32,821 steps, and I'm just starting out on my 24,000 steps for today. Man, lots to unpack from yesterday. Yesterday was a very eventful day. It made me think quite a bit. Working at a conference where there are protesters for this conference, and people are trying to disrupt the conference. There's two sides. One side has certain views, the other side has their other. And yesterday, it was kind of a scary moment. So, as I mentioned before, I set up the registration for conventions all over North America. And typically registration sits at the front of the event, so it's front facing. There's typically right when you walk in the building, so there's not really anywhere to go for cover. Well, anyways, there's a lot of security here. There's police. I'm sure there's undercover police as well as private security. And they have been making sure that certain people don't get into the building. They're checking credentials. I mean, it's pretty high security. Well, anyways, yesterday, a guy walked into the building, and we're sitting at registration. I'm sitting with my colleague. And we're looking at him, and he's got this very large bouquet of balloons. They're very colorful, every color in the rainbow. It's about 12 or 13 of them. And they are, I want to say 30-inch balloons, like 30 inches wide. And he just walks in very calmly, stands right in the middle of the room, and there's a large atrium with a glass ceiling. And he's holding the balloons, and he lets them go, and he starts yelling. I'm not exactly sure what he was yelling, because when he let the balloons go, a very loud alarm went off. And his strategy, from what I believe, was to let those balloons go and have the alarm go off so that it disrupted the event. And I mean, it was a really loud alarm. It took probably 35 minutes for the hotel staff to grab a scissor lift to get the balloons down. But the whole time we're thinking, was this a distraction? Is someone else in here to do us some harm? You know, it's tough. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the world that we kind of look past. And that just kind of brings or sheds some light on it for me, because, you know, the one thing that I'm trying to do is just spread a positive message by showing up consistently. And people are dealing with stuff, but it's scary. You know, we let those balloons go. We took cover. And we're just hoping it wasn't the last day I was here. Strange things happen every single day. Some of the things we see, some of the things we don't. I can say right now, somewhere in the world, something wild is happening that I'm unaware of, because the world is large. And I just hope that people that are there are able to protect themselves and find cover like I was able to yesterday. But it's also made me reflect on why this is so important. There's so much division among us. And it's really sad, because all of the different people I meet and interact with, I find that the majority of them, if I greet them with a smile and a nice firm handshake, within a few moments we can be the best of friends, at least for that time. And a lot of these conflicts and issues that groups of people have with other groups of people are rooted from hundreds or thousands of years ago. And while I'm not saying that people should let the history go, I'm just saying that we can all exist here. We can all be here and share space. There's plenty of room for us all. Last week when I was flying back from South Carolina to Las Vegas, I was sitting in the window seat, and for the first time ever, I looked out and I saw just snow-covered land for maybe a good 30 or 45 minutes, like crop circles. And I'm thinking, wow, like all this land, no one lives here. And then I thought about all the other countries in the world where there's just vacant land. There's plenty of space for everyone to exist. And one of the first sins was focusing on lack. I learned that from Myron Golden on YouTube. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and they were surrounded by abundance and everything they could ever want or need. Yet, this one tree was the one that they had to have, so Eve was tricked into focusing on the one thing they didn't have. And in order to focus on what you don't have, you have to look past everything you do have. You have to block that out. You have to put those blinders on that they put on horses when they're running around the track. And you can only hyper-focus on that one thing that you're lacking. And when you do that, for one, it brings more lack. But two, it creates division. Because now, instead of focusing on the big world around you and all the beautiful things you have, relationships, experiences, friends, family, you're just focusing on what you don't have. And that's such a small thing to focus on, but when you make it extremely large, it can consume you. It can put you in a state of anger and rage. It's like, as I say it, it's so easy to just focus on abundance because there is truly so much of it. The simplest of things occur without any effort from us at all. And we're so used to seeing it that we just kind of look past it. Like right now I'm walking by a stream. Not sure if you can see that. But whether you're sleeping or awake, that stream is pushing. It's supplying water. It's very green down there. And it'll continue to be that way. That's the abundance of the earth. The earth is just producing the water, the minerals, everything that's necessary for the grass to grow, the trees to grow. We've all kind of been tricked in a sense, though, to focus on things that don't matter. You know, there's the holiday season coming up. And this may sound like kind of glum, but all of these holidays just repeat themselves over and over and over again. And while I'm happy to get together with family, I just wonder, what are the origins? What's the point? Like, is that what it's all about? Or is it something that's planned by a large company to just sell us more stuff that we ultimately don't need? It's wild to me that somebody came up with the hamster wheel. And I wonder what goes through a hamster's brain when it's running on it. But then that's kind of the same wheel we're on, because we get up and go into this routine kind of on autopilot. Like just walking right now, this process is on autopilot. I just get up and go because I've done it so many times now that it feels strange not doing it. But a lot of times, just with everything that we're doing, if you step back and think about why we're doing it, it makes you think, like, was this all part of the program from a young age to teach us in school to just go with the flow, to just do what you're told, and don't ask questions, don't think there's something better for you. Like, I find it strange that we're taught to go to school, get a job, and rely on someone else that doesn't care about us. They mostly just care about the bottom line, especially like if you're in a minimum wage position and you are doing something that's like hard labor, or you have to deal with people that are a bit unruly. And they're essentially just paying you the least that they can so they can have the most profit possible. And they're kind of telling you they don't really care minimum wage, but you may be in a jail of being stuck paying for the things that you bought to impress other people. I mean, I've been there. Like, I'm on every single one of these walks. There's no judgment by me. Like, this is all stuff that I've been through, that I've dealt with personally. And I'm just reflecting on it. And it helps me get past what is considered the societal normal. What's considered what you should be doing. You know, just going and spending all your time to get some paper, to exchange that paper for something that you just don't need. And being okay with the idea, like not even questioning it. When you take all this stuff away, you think about how simple life is, how simple life could be. Like, what if you went to work from the very beginning, if you did work for someone, and you just set a goal of, okay, I'm going to do this for 10 or 15 years. I'm going to put the majority of what I make aside so that either I can start my own business or I can invest enough to where it pays for me to live life and I can really enjoy the majority of the year with my friends and family. And if we all have this same community and same goal, then essentially we all get out of this race. Like, what if that was the plan? All the nice things, we can definitely have them. And if we delayed it just a little bit, like, it would be in our best interest. Because if we delayed it, that would mean that we could put money aside, let it pay us. Like, the concept of my money working for me, once I finally got it, it's just amazing. Like, you mean to tell me I could put this money aside and we'll just sit there? Instead of like in a savings account, I always heard like, save your money. Put your money in savings where it sits and doesn't keep pace with inflation. I never heard invest your money. Now, I'm not one to give financial advice, but what I'm doing is every single week, just throw $150 into one of the stock apps. I'm not going to recommend anything. And sometimes, some weeks, I see it's up a bit, and other weeks I see it's down a bit. And I'm actually a little bit happy when it's down, because that means I get to buy more stock at a discounted rate. And then the next week when it's up, I get to celebrate some extra gains. But I realize that the only action I'm taking, especially now because everything is electronic, is I'm just clicking a couple buttons, and then I get to see the money that I deposited there grow. Not through any action of my own. I'm buying into a company that has employees and standards and practices in place. And off of the labor and sales and success of that company, I'm able to get a small portion of it by being a partial owner of that company, a fractional owner. If this is something I learned when I was a kid, oh, how far ahead I would be. But I'm happy I learned it now. I'm happy that I grasp the idea now, and I'm not going to be 10 years removed from this and looking back like, I wish I would have done this. I wish that I knew about it, 10 years from now for me is 48, just about 49. A lot can happen in 10 years. $150 a week times 50 weeks is $7,500, plus another 2 is $7,800. That's a substantial amount. And even if it was just that over 10 years' time, that's $78,000. $150 isn't something that I miss each week, but it certainly was something that I could have easily blown every single week, especially with my past habits. Just walking through life kind of numb, not really thinking about my future, not really just thinking like, well, I've got just time to experience this now, and if I don't, what if I die tomorrow? I still have the idea that today could be my last day. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't prepare for my future. Like, what if I live to be 100? What if I do live to be my goal of 121 years old? So I can be the oldest man ever recorded for right now until they forget about me and someone lives to be 121 and a half. But if I prepare for the possibility of that, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff I think about. If I'm not even 40 yet, and I do live to be the oldest man in the world, for one, the benefits of compound interest over 50 years, that would make me 88 years old, right? And imagine I still had 32 years of living left. And at that point, my money compounded so much. Now I've got millions of dollars to take care of myself and help others. Like, once the flywheel effect starts on investments, it just keeps going and going and going. And if you teach your future generations to do the same, then your family is wealthy forever. And furthermore, like, if you build good principles on top of that, where you help people out, that money can go so much further. One of the reasons that I want to be wealthy, I want to be successful, so that I can help other people, have the resources to not have to go to work, be able to film more content, be able to travel to more places that are in need of help and direction, find people that are in need of help and direction. And if I have the means to do it, help improve their life, maybe with clean water, maybe by learning how to farm and grow earth and passing that on to them, giving them the ability to have good food. It's the simple things. Like we're all worried about getting things in other places of the world. They're worried about getting water. They're worried about food. Some people have it in days or weeks, not by choice, but just because they don't have the means to do so. I've never been in that situation, but I can appreciate how that might feel. I have, in the past, I tried juicing. I did that for a little over 50 days straight. You might have figured by now when I try something, I jump in 2 feet. There is no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I want to see if it really works, but I know that everything that I try, it takes time to do. Like, it's not, I'll give it a day or two and see what happens. It's, let's go. Let's really see how this works. Because if it works the way they say it does, I want to keep going with it. Like, what I'm doing works, man. What I am doing works.
This is something that typically I do when I'm not filming. I'll stop and bust on some push-ups. I want that muscle. I don't want to be skinny fat. You know what I mean? I want to be like killing it. I want people to say, "What does that guy do? Why does it look so fit?" You know what I mean? Like, what is it about that guy? And that takes like
Different types of action, right? Like a combination of things put together so that it all just comes together the right way. This isn't my first time on a weight loss journey or a self-improvement journey. I've just got different objectives this time around. I've got, things that I've quit doing so that I can really thrive in this. I can really exist in this space where I feel just amazing all around. I want great health. I want to be an example of great health. I want to help others see that the things that they're addicted to, they can get off of. I think the things that I've done for 20 plus years, like drinking, and being able to quit that is so powerful. Like I feel like I've got a very strong mind. It's something that I manifested, but it's also something that I think just over time I developed. But I wanted to quit. I just did it. It's just this scenario that I saw that I didn't like going down that road anymore. And that's all I'm discovering for all of this stuff. Like I just want better. I just want better. I know there's other people out there that want better. Because since I've created this YouTube channel, people are telling me they want better for themselves. They're telling me, man, this can't be all it is. There's got to be more to it. And I take my time to reply to people and let them know there absolutely is. Just don't try to do everything all at one time. Because that's when you just start going in all these different directions and nothing gets done. And that doesn't help you out. That puts you in a situation of confusion and paralysis by analysis, where you're just thinking, what direction should I go in? And that's your primary thought process, and then you don't end up going anywhere. Me, it's just been one thing at a time. I repeat this stuff because I really want it to sink in. And a lot of times when ideas are presented the first time around, they don't sink in. Sometimes it takes 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And I'm gonna be here every day. Every single day. So I just want to hopefully inspire you to do something that you never thought you could do, to take the steps and the actions that you never thought you could take toward a life that you never thought you could live. When I watch the success stories of people that have amassed large quantities of wealth or a level of physical fitness that just seems impossible, and they explain their process and what they thought from the beginning, it almost doesn't make sense. They're just building small habits on top of other small habits, and they get to where they need to be. It's just that simple. But we complicate it. We hear this simple plan and we say that can't just be it. There's got to be more to it. So I'm just gonna try to reinvent the wheel. Even though it's already been invented, it's already been rolled down the hill millions and billions of times. I'm just gonna make it harder for myself, and that's a lot of times what we do. We can realize the success that we want to realize, but instead, we don't roll it downhill, we try rolling it uphill. We cut the round parts off and make them flat, and we try to push that thing up the hill. But we never get any momentum because we're just making it more and more difficult. My example is I'm doing the easiest thing that we all can do. I'm just out here walking. Not much to it. I'm doing some push-ups. I remember when I could do one push-up. One. Yeah, I have a goal to start doing pull-ups. I was telling my brother the other day on that long call, I want to be able to do muscle-ups. That's when you pull yourself up and you push yourself over the bar, and then you're doing dips on the bar. You come back down. I've seen some of the biggest people in the gym that can't do a single pull-up. Like, I want utility out of my muscles. I want to be able to move around and just get like the most out of this body. It's such a big, cool gift. And like, if you work on it, it could be even cooler. It's like getting whatever accessories you want for your car or doing things to your house. Like, your body is that one thing that you have the power to improve, and it doesn't even cost any money. And then once you make those improvements, people see it. They see you're the type of person that's disciplined and can take action toward change. And they offer you opportunities based on that. 100,000 subs on you happening. I told you I'm gonna have the best legs in the game, and I mean it. I'm gonna have that six-pack I've always wanted. I'm gonna have the chiseled chest I've always wanted. And I'm working for it. I'm not asking anyone for it. I'm putting the work in. I'm taking it. Because the time is now. We're not here forever. I realize that. I remind myself that every single day. We're not here forever. We are here for a short period of time. And if you blink, you might miss it. So spend a little time reflecting, putting a plan together, and take action on it. Don't put it off until tomorrow. Just because everything repeats, like holidays and sporting events, You don't have to repeat the same bad habits. You don't have to do that. You do not. Today was a little bit shorter. I've got about 3 minutes left to record. I didn't clear my SD card. And then it's bye-bye for this video. So, I will end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and yesterday's video. I had a great time making it. I'm only gonna get better and better after showing up every single day. Today is number 162 of consistency. I hope it's rubbing off on you. Until next time, I'm Brandon Alexander. Look at this big old beef rib. This is the dino bone.